Hello everyone, I'm Matt Little and I'm here today to go over the fundamental principles of basic target transitions. Now a target transition is no more than engaging one target with whatever number of rounds necessary and then immediately engaging another target also again with whatever number of rounds necessary, right? There are some fundamental principles you need to follow in order to be able to do this in a relaxed and athletic fashion that will be fast, efficient, and consistent for you. So let's talk about this. First thing I want to talk about is body movement, because a lot of people tend to wind up doing this in a very artificial and stiff fashion, where they wind up locking their body out and trying to move like a tank turret. The problem with this is because of all of the tension in my upper body, it's very easy when I try to get aggressive to overshoot the second target when I move and have to come back to it to line the sights up. So even though the movement feels fast, I'm actually wasting more time than I would if I simply move the gun in a relaxed fashion from target to target. Now, there's a lot of different people talking about which part of the body functions for the transition portion. A lot of people talk about it being the hips. Some people will mention it being driven from the knees, like so. It used to be that there were people that would say the shoulders like that tank turret thing. That really has fallen out of fashion. But the truth is that it's all of those, right? I have all of these joints in my body that I should be able to use to do the transition. Now, the amount they're going to be involved in the transition movement depends on how long the transition is, how wide it is, how far it is from target to target. But I want everything to be relaxed and natural and athletic rather than stiff and contrived and rigid and artificial, right? So when I move the gun, I want every part of my body to take at least a little bit of that job so that it's nice and relaxed and fluid. Now, another thing that's really important that is not intuitive for beginning shooters is that I want my vision to lead the transition. And what I mean by that is rather than leaving my eyes on this first target when I make the shot, and then once I'm satisfied with the shot, moving my eyes to the next target and coming over, as I break that shot, my eyes are moving to the next spot and the gun is moving in recoil. The other thing I don't want to do that's related to this is I don't want my vision to stay on the sights. My vision has to get ahead of the gun during the transition. And the reason for that is that if I leave my eyes on the sights and I'm driving aggressively, my body doesn't know where to go because I'm not looking at the spot I need to be at. So I'm going to go past it and have to come back. Now, the other part of this is that you have to develop what's called an index for this to be efficient. And an index is simply nothing more than the ability to look at a point with my eyes and bring the gun and present it to that point so the sights are already aligned and I'm ready to shoot. So I look at a point and the gun is there and the sights are aligned. Now, where that comes into play in the transition is as I break that shot and my eyes shift to the next target, the sights should simply show up automatically in my vision on that target. So the eyes lead the transition. I use my index to bring the sights in alignment. And this may sound silly, but the point I look at on that target that I'm transitioning to matters. One of the most common mistakes is simply looking at any piece of the target rather than where I want the round to go. Well, guess where your sights are going to show up? You've trained an index. Your sights are going to show up wherever you're looking at. So if you're looking at the wrong spot, that's where the bullet's going to go. Now, the other thing about this is I want the recoil to occur during the transition. So I don't want the gun to recoil, come back down, and then come over. As the gun is recoiling and I'm resetting the trigger, I'm already looking at the next target. The gun is already moving. And by the time I'm prepped on the trigger and ready to fire, I should be in alignment with the target. So that's the general theory on this and how this is going to work. Now I'm going to go live and I'm going to show you guys how this works live fire. So I'm going to take the shot and my eyes are immediately going to shift to the next target. I want everything to happen in the recoil arc. I want, as soon as I see that front sight lift, my eyes are shifting to the next target so I'm not wasting time. Nice, relaxed, fluid movement, letting the recoil kind of drive the transition rather than fighting it to make the transition happen. So the gun is going to arc during the transition because of the recoil. Another point that matters is the path of the gun. And by this, I'm not talking about that bouncing ball effect we get from the recoil. I'm talking about the actual path the gun travels. Now, the quickest way to go between 2 points is always a straight line. Now, if you watch my gun from the side, this is not apparent. You can't see it. So if you watch me make this transition from the side, you can't see what I'm talking about. But if we had a camera looking down from above, you could see that the gun actually travels in a straight line, and I take the slack up with my elbows and my shoulders to make that happen. It's more apparent on wider transitions than on narrow ones, but it's always there. I hope everybody got something valuable out of this. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you all on the range soon. Thank you.